If you feel like you're stuck, like everyone around you has their life together while you're spinning in circles, not sure what you're supposed to do next, this is for you. You're not broken, you're not behind, and you're definitely not alone. But there's something you need to hear right now, because this moment, this very feeling of being lost, might just be the beginning of everything you've ever wanted. The world loves certainty. We live in a world that celebrates clarity and confidence. The person with the 10-year plan, the kid who knew at 12 they wanted to be a doctor, the ones who go viral at 19, launch a business by 21, and retire by 30. We idolize the overnight success story. But what about the ones who are still figuring it out? What about the ones who wake up and feel like they're floating through life? No map, no anchor, no idea which direction to go. This video is for you. Because being lost is not a curse. It's not a flaw in your programming. It's not the end of your story. It's a signal, a calling, a doorway. And today, we're going to talk about what it really means to feel lost and how it can lead you exactly where you need to be. The feeling of being lost. Let's talk about the feeling itself, that heavy fog in your chest, the confusion, the ache, the endless loop of, what am I even doing with my life? You scroll through social media, and it feels like a highlight reel of everyone else's dreams coming true. New jobs, engagements, world travels, promotions. Meanwhile, you're just trying to figure out how to get out of bed without feeling defeated. And here's the part no one tells you. You start to question everything. You try to set goals, but they feel hollow. You try to be productive, but it's like pushing a boulder uphill in the rain. You feel like a ghost in your own life, disconnected from your passion, uncertain of your purpose, tired of pretending you're okay. But let me say this loud and clear. Feeling lost is not the problem. Believing that being lost means you're failing. That's the real problem. You're not failing, you're searching. And that difference, that's everything. The pressure to have it together. Let's be real. There is so much pressure to have your life figured out. From parents, teachers, friends, influencers, strangers online, everyone seems to have an opinion about what your life should look like. You're supposed to pick a career before you understand yourself, be in a relationship before you've healed, have a 5-year plan when you don't even know what matters to you right now. So you try to meet these expectations. You chase the titles, the checklists, the trophies, and still, you feel empty. Because deep down, you're chasing someone else's version of success. We're taught to chase milestones instead of meaning. We're told we need clarity before we take action. But here's the truth. Most of the time, it's the action that creates the clarity. You don't need a perfect plan. You need permission to take the first step, even if it's small and uncertain. What if being lost isn't a detour? What if it's part of the path? The power of being lost. Let's flip the script. Think about it. When do people grow the most? When life is easy and predictable? Or when they're pushed out of their comfort zone? It's in the uncertainty that we meet ourselves. It's in the silence where we hear what we've been avoiding. It's in the discomfort that we stretch, grow, evolve. When you're lost, you're no longer following someone else's roadmap. You're creating your own. You're forced to listen to your inner voice, the one that gets drowned out by noise and pressure. You start asking better questions. What do I want? What actually matters to me? What kind of life would I be proud to live? Yes, it's uncomfortable, but it's also a sacred space because something is being born in you, even if you can't see it yet. Examples from people you know. Let's look at a few people you've probably heard of. J.K. Rowling was a single mom on welfare, struggling with depression when she wrote the first Harry Potter book. Steve Jobs dropped out of college, wandered through India, and felt completely aimless before founding Apple. Oprah was fired from her first TV job and told she wasn't fit for television. They weren't together when they started. They weren't polished or perfect or certain. They were lost. They were searching. And that space between I don't know and I found it is where their magic happened. The shift. How to move forward. So, how do you move forward when you feel completely lost? Here's how. Step 1. Get honest with yourself. Not about what your parents want. Not about what society says. But about you. What excites you? What do you feel curious about? What would you try if you weren't afraid of failing? Start small. Start honest. Start where you are. Step 2. Take action. Even messy action. Especially messy action. Write the thing, try the class, apply for the job, reach out, start the side project. You don't need to see the whole staircase, just the next step. Step 3. Give yourself grace. You are not on anyone else's timeline. You are allowed to be a work in progress. You are allowed to change directions, to pivot, to pause. You are becoming, and that's a beautiful thing. Step 4. Trust the process. You are not late. You are not behind. You're exactly where you need to be to learn what you need to learn. Every step, even the confusing ones, is part of your becoming. A story to remember. Let me tell you a story. At 24, there was a guy who dropped out of school, moved back home, and spent months waking up with a pit in his stomach. He worked odd jobs, lost friends, felt like a failure. But there was one thing he kept doing. He wrote, every day even when no one was reading. Not for fame, not for money, but because it made him feel alive. It didn't happen overnight, but eventually people noticed. A blog post here, a short story there. And years later, he published a book, started a business, built a life he once thought was out of reach. Not because he had a plan, but because he kept showing up. That guy was me, and I'm still figuring things out. But now I understand something I didn't back then. Being lost was the best thing that ever happened to me. If you're watching this and feeling lost, hear me on this. This season of confusion, it's not your end, it's your invitation. To slow down, to let go, to question what no longer fits, to create space for something real, something yours. Being lost isn't the opposite of progress. It's the beginning of transformation. So take a deep breath, be kind to yourself, because you're not behind. You're just on a different timeline. And your story, it's still being written. Keep going, you're closer than you think. If this message spoke to you, if you're on your journey, figuring things out one step at a time, hit that like button so more people can see this. Share it with someone who needs this reminder today. And if you want more content that inspires, uplifts, and keeps it real, subscribe and join this journey with me. We're all just trying to find our way together.